My name is Faisal Hussein. I'm a Muslim from Kenya.
My name is Jamal Jama Ali. I'm a Muslim.
My name is Fahmi Adam. I'm a Muslim.
My name is Hafsa Hussein and I'm a Muslim.
Metwali. I'm a Muslim.
My name is Sumaya Mukhtar and I'm a Muslim. I'm a Somali Muslim.
Islamophobia is currently something that has been affecting most Muslims.
There have been so many discrimination that I have faced from either my friends or
Many people view my religion and it has been stereotyped as promoting terrorism.
The idea of portraying the 1.6 billion Muslims across the world as terrorists is a bad idea.
रात आई है ये रात आई है डूब गया दिन रन में रात आई है बन में डूब गया दिन.
The 9/11 attack was a turning point for many. The most powerful nation on earth, the United States of America, had afterwards announced the most controversial war against terrorism, with many people not being able to differentiate between extremism and terrorism.
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
Very, very few elements. As it happens in most societies, there are elements of some people who are different from the others. The same applies to terrorists.
Now, because of what the terrorists do and all their extremist actions, other people, whenever they hear Islam or Muslim or anything Islam related, they just think about like bombing, war, killing, violence.
If we look at every religion, I think every religion has an extremist people, but my religion does not advocate for extremism. In fact, in the Quran, and strictly forbids terrorism.
This Islamic extremist has been defined by the British government that it's a form that opposes democracy or liberal thing.
I believe when extremism has been, when you say we take matters as extremist, as an extreme act, yeah. Let's go back, I think in 2016, 2017. It was around during Ramadan. Yeah, it was Ramadan. In Medina, a holy city to the Muslims, somebody went to attack, he committed suicide. And I believe that person, it was mainly treated as an ISIS act. Now, do we define that person as a Muslim or do we define that person as an extremist? Personally, I define that I can label that person as an extremist. Why? Because first of all, you're at a holy land. Second, you're doing that act in a holy month. Third, I believe all those actions are extremist acts. So if you say, for me personally, if you say Trump, when you label a Muslim, okay, the whole world, ukimwona mtu Msomali, unasema huyu ni Al-Shabaab, ukimwona huyu jamani Mwarabu, huyu ni Yemen, ni Houthis, you know those stuff, yani. You don't label a person, a Muslim, as a terrorist. It hurts, yani. You never know what a person holds in his heart, how he is.
The war on terror took a sudden and costly turn. Anti-Muslim prejudice has grown so considerably and so rapidly in recent years. Terrorists have brought a lot of harm, more harm to Muslims than other non-Muslims. For example, as from my own experience, I'm from northern Kenya, a town called Mandera. Going to Mandera from Nairobi, it takes a lot. it means a lot to us. It's a hectic one. Officers frisk you, sometimes beat you, and sometimes get some silly excuses just to handcuff you, or just to arrest you. Like you have a long beard like Osama bin Laden's, you have a kanzu, and you wonder, how does that apply to you being a terrorist? That's an Islamic culture. Wearing the garment, the scarf, and having a long beard. So sometimes it forces you not to avoid all those. You have to shave your beard, act like you are not a Muslim. And it's such distressing. Yeah.
So there was this one time I was heading to town from where I stay. Then I got into this matatu. The only seat that was left vacant was next to this lady. So me, automatically, I just went to sit next to her. Then immediately I sat down. She just asked to be excused. She passed, and then I kind of complained with the conductor. Then when she reached there, I kind of kuzusha asking for her money, saying that hawezi kukaa in the same matatu as an Al-Shabaab. And now the conductor confused. Akamuuliza Al-Shabaab gani? Then she points right at me, like ule walalo pale. No, even the funny part is I'm not even a Somali, but it's okay. So akaanza kuzusha, arguing with the conductor, rudishe pesa yake, I know what. And then other passengers got riled up also. Some on her side, some on my side. And it was a really awkward situation to be in. So I just stood up and calmly left the matatu and waited for the next one. It was a really, really intense experience.
I think people take Muslims to be terrorists because most of the people who have been associated with this thing come from Somalia. You can confer with me that when you see a Muslim, there's a feeling you start feeling, like when you meet many Somalis, a group, like when you're going to Isli, you'll be feeling insecure that this place has been bombed severally. This place, it has been associated with keeping goons or terrorists. There has been a point that, this thing has gone to a point that people have even banned miraa, claiming that because Muslims consume a lot of miraa in the UK, in those areas, they say that this money which is being used, this money which is being got from the sale of miraa is being used to fund terrorism.
See, we had gone to Westgate. I know to do what? I don't remember. Then now, you guys and some other friends, you got in first. You were frisked, yes. Everyone was being frisked. But then yours, compared to how I was frisked, wasn't even cool. Like, I was even asked to remove the pin I have holding my scarf. Because it kept buzzing, because the guy was using a handheld, I know what they're called, metal detector, I guess. Even after passing through the large one, he still asked to frisk me again, which was really weird. Yeah. Like, before I get into matatus, especially the ones I used to come home and go to school, there's normally like this guard hapo kwa mlango frisking people. Then clearly I can see other passengers getting in, whether they have luggage or they don't. They're not being frisked. Maybe whether I have a bag or I'm not carrying a bag, I will be frisked by the lady. Mama, she'll tell me, open your bag, which is so not cool. Yeah.
I was driving a car. That day I was going to pick my dad. So apparently my car, tulikuwa ni vijana kawaida. I was with my cousins. So with we carried our IDs and all. So my cousin was the driver, tukawa tunaendesha vizuri. Now what happened was tukawa tumefika, I think, a security check. We had our IDs, took a handout. Now the thing was, I have a younger bro of mine, yeah. So that brother, alikuwa na turn 18 So he had like, I think the provisional, that's what you get. Alipokuwa nayo, so akawa amesahau home, and he forgot to carry the copy. Askari akawa analeta shida, anasema huyu ni wewe umetoka wapi? That was the first thing we were asked. So apparently we have a family house in Old Town. Our family house, that's where we go to for family gatherings, meetings. So tupambia tumetoka Old Town, tunaenda home, na home ilikuwa ni past bridge. You know, I live in Mombasa. Tukifika, so askari posikia tumetoka Old Town, the first thing akatuambia huyu anabaki because nyinyi mnatoka Kibokoni. So how can you because my brother he's darker than I, but she's anakona curly hair. We all look similar as Somalis. We are similar to Somalis. So we asked him, on what grounds are you? Kwa nini mmemzuilia? Akatuambia nimemzuilia because huyu hakuna ID na pia mnasema kwa mmetoka Kibokoni, around Kibokoni area. So how can you judge a person? I hope you get my point, yeah? So it was after that incident, actually, we had to tulimwambia askari tuachie. Actually, since I'm the elder brother, naambia huyu ni ndugu yangu, namjua, ninajua anaitwa nani. You can even look into his call or whatever you want. If you want to ask me any question about him, just ask me, I'll answer you truthfully. And when he saw how persistent we were, and how, because he's my younger bro, he had to tell us, you guys have to go to their national ID. I had to tell him we had applied for. He had applied for, because I had mine by then. He had applied for it, so there's no need for the confusion. That's what hurt most about the extremists, because you can't usimwone mtu kwa uso ukasema huyu Somali, huyu ni Mwarabu, huyu ni nani. Never judge a person.
This last decade has seen a worrying rise in violent conflicts, mostly happening in Muslim nations. Afghanistan.
Their nights spent huddled inside, soothing their young children as bombs fall all around them.
Palestine.
A massive number of homes were affected as children lost their homes and families.
Pakistan.
Spilling onto the streets of Douma over the weekend.
Sudan. Somalia.
The late general was the self-elected
Syria.
An alleged second regime airstrike ripped through a medical clinic where activists were documenting the aftermath.
And Yemen.
Allah says in the Quran, وَمَنْ قَتَلَ مُؤْمِنًا مُتَعَمِّدًا فَجَزَاؤُهُ جَهَنَّمُ. Whoever kills a soul that he has not created, that he has no right to kill, goes straight to hell in the hereafter. It means that that soul is not a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim. It means a human soul. If you kill a human soul, a human being, you will have a heavy price to pay.
There is an ayah in the Quran which talks about the killing of human beings. It says if you kill one person, it's like if you have killed the whole humanity. And if you save one life, it's as if you have saved the whole of humanity.
In fact, in the Quran, and strictly forbids terrorism. I can even quote an ayah. The ayah says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَمَ اللَّهُ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكُمْ وَسَاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So this ayah tries to say that you cannot kill a soul which God created, and it's against a religion to kill people unless it's a penalty which was put forward by the state or by the law. So unless it's not that, no, not any person is allowed to kill innocent people.
Islam, the religion with the second largest followers in the world, is believed by many to be the cause of all conflict in the world.
Allahu Akbar, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ya Habib Allah, Allah. إبراهيم خليل الله إسماعيل ذابح الله علم علي خلق الله لا إله إلا الله فنوح مع أهله واستوت على الجود ما كان يقوله لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Islam is a peaceful religion.
Islam means purity, submission, and justice. And when we look at the word Islam itself, it's a religion which advocates for peace and justice and submission to Lord.
And to me, Islam is all about peace and love, as it's been stated in the Holy Quran.
Islam from the get-go means peace.
So my religion does not advocate terrorism, and people should stop stereotyping Islam as a terrorist religion.
In reality, Islam is just about peace and love.
They have misread, they were misled, and they have misinterpreted the teachings of Islam. Terrorists have misinterpreted it. And I think they need to be portrayed as people who are sick in their mind and not as Muslims. Yeah.